Welcome to this edition of Hutchinson Economic Developments. This week I'm going to have some updates on downtown projects and a child care project that we're working on. And then in our second segment we'll talk more about the TigerPath program over at Hutchinson High School. Okay, we have a lot of stuff going on in the downtown. Probably the biggest project that's out there right now is the Jorgensen Hotel redevelopment. And this one has been in development for a long time. And we're not there yet, to be quite honest. So we're still working with the developer. We have a number of details to work out yet. Right now the plan is still that the developer would acquire a couple buildings, the Jorgensen Hotel and Cook Jewelry. These would be demolished and then a new 40-room hotel would be built in their place. So that's the plan, and we're still trying to work through the details. And I think the best I can say about that right now is that when it comes to redevelopment projects, that's just really hard to pull off. Mostly because to try to get the finances to work can be a real challenge. You know, for this particular project, I mean, it could be close to $1 million just to acquire the site. And that's before they even begin putting up a new building. And that's a lot more difficult than just going off to what's called a greenfield site where there's just bare ground and building a building there. That's pretty easy. But when you're doing redevelopment in the downtown, that gets a lot more difficult. So we're still not there yet. I'm hoping that in our next show that I'll have positive news to report, and we're still working on it. So that's the best I can say about that right now. The landing project, that's moving ahead very nicely. Construction's underway right now, and the developer is telling us that, you know, a year from now, September, October, is when they hope to have the landing open and available to have these apartments for rent. So right now they're just finishing up footings and foundations, and the plan is construction's going to go right through the winter. So it'll be busy there, you know, for the next 12 months. It'll be just a beehive of activity. One thing that I've heard that has come up is some inquiries about the rents that go with the landing. And there's a concern that perhaps the rents are going to be on the high end. Now, that one I want to address a little bit because, you know, the city, we're involved in this project. We're helping to finance aspects of this project. And because there are city dollars involved, there's a requirement that a certain number of the units, and in this case it's 20% of the units, have to be allocated for people with low to moderate income, 50% of area median income. So in this case, out of the 81 apartments, 16 of them are going to be earmarked for people with low to moderate income. So there is a low income component to this project. And these are apartments that are going to be open for anybody. And then also too, it's just sort of economics too. We're going to add 81 apartments to the system. And what causes prices to go up is when you have a shortage of something. And in Hutchinson, we have a shortage of available apartments. That's what drives up prices. So we're going to be adding 81 apartments with this project. That's going to increase the supply. That's going to help moderate the price of apartment rents. It's going to make it more affordable for everybody. And what's going to happen is that even if a person does not necessarily rent at the landing, because maybe they feel it's too expensive, other people that are in apartments today will be renting apartments at the landing. They're going to move up, and that's going to free up moderately priced apartments. It's going to free up lower cost apartments. So really the project's going to benefit everyone at every level of every income. So we just think it's a big win for the community, and we're excited to get these apartments online. Another project that we're working on downtown is the community smartphone application. So this is a smartphone app that you can go to the App Store and download. If you go to the App Store, you just search for Much in Hutch, and you'll be able to download the Hutchinson Community app. And really, this is intended to be a one-stop shop for everything Hutchinson. So if you need to know what store hours are, it will be in the app. If you want to know what time the movie is playing at the Century 9 or the State Theater, you can just look at this app and it'll have that information there, because it's going to have links to all kinds of different businesses. Businesses will be able to put different sales on, and promotional efforts can come through this thing. So I mean, it's really just going to be the ultimate one-stop shop for everything Hutchinson. Community events are going to get posted on the app. Weather emergencies will get posted on the app. So it's really genuinely a one-stop shop for everything almost. So want to encourage you to go to the App Store online, look for the Much and Hutch app and download that and just play with it to see what it can do, because it's really pretty amazing application. Another project that we're working on in downtown Hutchinson is to add some additional signage. We're really super blessed here in town because we have a lot of downtown parking, and it's free parking. No meters, don't have to worry about anything. But one of the challenges we find is that sometimes people don't necessarily find their way to the parking or know where the parking is, and particularly for visitors from out of town. And so the project is to add some pretty good size signage that will be plainly visible from Main Street. So if you're going up and down Main Street, you can just look down Washington Avenue either way, or look down First Avenue, and you'll be able to see very plainly marked big signage that shows where the parking is. So this is a project that we're hoping to roll out in 2026. Like everything, it kind of just depends on the funding. We come up with the funding and we can do this thing. The signs themselves are going to be pretty big. I mean, they'll be 8-9 feet tall. So I mean, they'll be very noticeable from Main Street, and we think they'll make a big difference in helping people find their way to the free public parking that we have. Another big project that we're looking at, haven't made any decisions yet, but we're looking at creating what's called a festival street. And this would be on First Avenue Southeast, next to Library Square, between Library Square and 101 Park Place. And the idea is really just to create sort of a giant patio for the community that you could have outdoor events at, could have concerts at, could have pop-up shopping, could have all kinds of things on this festival street. So the natural question then is, well, okay, what's a festival street? So a festival street would be just taking a regular street and making it more pedestrian oriented. So we would add lights that would go across the top of the street to really dress it up. And then over time, we would add pedestrian amenities. There'd be more plantings and planters. There would be benches, all kinds of things to really kind of soften it up. And it just makes it more pedestrian. It's really emphasizing pedestrian use over automotive use. That's the idea of it. So the idea is that we're just going to have this event space, like I said, kind of the patio. It would be the patio for the whole town. And it's just going to be a very flexible design. It'll have the lights over the top, like I said. It'll have a lot of public amenities that'll go with this thing, have streetscape elements and so forth. So this one, again, it's dependent on funding. We're looking at our options. We're thinking we can phase this in over time, and we're hoping the first elements would go into place in 2026. We just got to find the dollars to be able to do that. So I think one of the things we'd like to accomplish would be just to get the lights put up, because that'll really just dress up the whole thing. And then we'll add things every year going forward. So we'll see how it develops. And I'll have updates on this as we go forward. Another downtown project is to just revive the Downtown Association. We went for decades here in Hutchinson with a very vibrant downtown association, and they did a great job. And really, it was the pandemic in 2020 that sort of caused that to go on hold a little bit. And so now we're at a point where we're reconstituting the Downtown Association. We're establishing a new board of directors. And hopefully in the next few months, we're going to get this back online. And we'll have a new Downtown Association tasked with really just promoting the downtown and promoting downtown shopping opportunities, downtown events, and so forth. So we're partnering with the chamber to do this project, and hopefully we'll have something positive to report here in just a a few weeks. My last update is we're working on developing a new daycare center. Here in Hutchinson, we have a huge shortage of daycare slots. And so for the last year or so, the Hutchinson Economic Development Authority has been working to pull together some funding and working with a local group to establish a new daycare center. So this is going to be Guiding Light Early Learning Center. And this is on the cusp of opening. So I think it's going to open on December 1st. It's going to create 42 new child care slots that we really need. So that'd be 28 preschool slots and 14 school aid slots. And the best I can recommend would be to go on Facebook and just look for Guiding Light Early Learning Center. There'll be contact information there. And I think there'll be a link or something so that people can sign up or at least get on a waiting list. So this is scheduled to open up in just a couple weeks. So if folks are looking for a daycare center opportunity, hopefully we'll have something coming along very soon. So that's the update for this week. Okay, welcome to our second segment of Hutchinson Economic Developments. This week we're going to finish up our look at TigerPath. We did look at this here in our previous two installments. So just to kind of recap, we started off by talking about the why of TigerPath. Why are we doing this? And really there's two reasons. It's, first and foremost, it's just to deliver better educational outcomes for our students, because students are different and everybody's different. And we want to kind of get away from one size fits all education and instead have more individualized education based on each student's interest, aptitudes, and so forth. And then our second reason for doing TigerPath is really that's what we perceive as our answer to the skilled workforce shortage. We need workers here in Hutchinson, and really this is a nationwide problem. And we think a big chunk of it can be resolved by working more closely with high school students and getting them aimed at where the different jobs really are. So those are the really big reasons for TigerPath. And then last episode we talked about the how, or we started talking about the how of TigerPath. So we talked about how we work to realign high school education, work to build educational pathways between high school and college, and then how we did some work to change stereotypes about manufacturing and about gender in the workforce and so on like that. So those were kind of the first three strategies, and we have a total of 6 strategies when it comes to TigerPath. So this week I'm going to talk about the second group of strategies, what we're doing and how we are implementing TigerPath. So that's what we have going forward. The fourth strategy of how we're implementing TigerPath is just to cultivate as many relationships as we can between the school on one side and employers on the other side. We're just trying to get everybody on a first name basis with respect to, getting connected. So years ago, the high school principal was Pat Walsh. He had a saying. He said he kind of expressed it as bring school into industry and industry in the school. And really we kind of broaden that out a little bit in that we want to just bring school into the employment world, and we want to bring the employment world into school. And it doesn't matter what kind of employer it is. Could be a bank, could be a doctor's office, could be a dentist, could be a manufacturer, could be a plumber, whatever it is. So we just want to get as many connections there as possible, and we want to get the owners and managers of these businesses on a first name basis with our teachers at the high school and with the administrators at the high school, because we're all kind of working toward the same goal. And as you well know, relationships, that's everything. So if we can cultivate more relationships and work more closely together and bring more real world into the school, that's a big benefit for the students. So that's kind of the goal there. And probably the biggest thing that we did to bring this about was to hire a TigerPath coordinator. So we hired Andrea Moore as our TigerPath coordinator, and she's really the liaison between the school and the employment world and the business community. So Andrea does a ton of work helping students line up internships, both paid and unpaid. She will set up job shadowing opportunities. So if a student wants to go and see what it's like to be an electrician for a day, for example, that they can do that and they can see it firsthand. What's this job really like? Andrea also organizes job fairs at the high school, so different employers will come in, they'll set up a booth and meet with students and kind of explain what they do and sort of a show and tell, just to help students understand, okay, what is this job? What are the opportunities? What's the career path? What education do I need to be able to do this? And so on and so forth. And she'll arrange guest speakers to come into the school. She'll arrange teacher-employer mixers, kind of anything and everything to get people connected. So she does a fantastic job, and this is a big part of just implementing this strategy of cultivating all these different relationships. The fifth strategy for implementing TigerPath is really to upgrade the facilities and the equipment over at the high school. The part of the high school that we're talking about, it's well, that area of education is called Career and Technical Education, and CTE is the acronym for that. So you hear me say CTE, that's what it means, Career and Technical Education. That's more the shop. When I went to high school, it was just the shop. So years ago, a number of years ago now, this would be back at the time of the old high school before things were remodeled. We had a fairly, I would say, plain, let's call it plain shop, I guess. And, clearly didn't probably have enough funding to do what they wanted to do. And so the result was that the place was pretty unattractive and unappealing. And it was really the type of thing that would encourage old stereotypes about manufacturing, that it's dirty and, doesn't go anywhere or anything like that. And they had all this old outdated equipment, and it was really pretty poor condition overall. And so the high school, or I should say the school district superintendent, recruited us, talked to us at the EDA board, and we said, well, we gotta do something about this. So the Hutchinson Economic Development Authority got involved, and we partnered up with the businesses here in town. And through that whole process, we were able to raise over $1.7 million. And that number is growing even now. It still grows, still continues. We still have new partners coming on board. We have existing partners that have donated over and over again over the years. And so we've been able to pull together a lot of funding that have allowed us to create at Hutchinson High School what is now the Center for Technical Excellence. CTE, that's Career and Technical Education. We're kind of rebranding that a little bit now. So now we have the Center for Technical Excellence because we want to help students understand, okay, what does this really look like in 2025? Because it's not what people imagine it to be. So right now, Hutchinson High School has, without a doubt, the best equipped, most advanced high school technical education program in Minnesota. There is no other school district in the state that has what we have here in Minnesota. And I've toured quite a number of these schools, looked at what they had in terms of equipment and facilities, and we are, I would say, just head and shoulders above. So I mean, we're super blessed, super fortunate here to be able to have what we have. And the machinery, the equipment that we have is state of the art. It's the exact same type of thing that you would find over at Ridgewater College, for example. It's the same type of stuff that if you walked into some of our manufacturers, you would see the same stuff there. And so we made the decision early on that we were not going to have simulators, we're not going to have tabletop things for students to work on. We wanted to get them the real machinery, the real world machinery, and that's what we've been able to pull off. So now, in conjunction with the EDA pulling together the money for this equipment and the high school doing the remodel, our technical education area is second to none. yeah, you won't find a nicer one in the state of Minnesota. So now we have a computer-aided drafting and design lab. We have a machine tool lab, welding and metalworking lab, a woodworking and building trades lab, engines and automotive lab, and an applied engineering and physics lab. This was a grant that we got from 3M to really upgrade the physical space and then fill it with a lot of amazing equipment. I have a friend, Dan Conroy, he says lots of whizzy equipment. And that's all on purpose because we want to get students excited. We want to get them pumped up about working in this field. We want to get mom and dad excited. We want to get the teachers excited because it is exciting. This is super high-tech stuff. It's computers, it's lasers, it's all of that. It's artificial intelligence, all of that. So, I mean, it's really pretty darn amazing. One of the things that we did too is we said, let's put windows everywhere. So a lot of windows were put in. There's a lot of like garage doors that have windows in them. Again, because we want people to look into these labs and see all the amazing equipment, all the cool stuff that students get to work with. So we just want to help them understand what's in there, what are the opportunities. The sixth strategy, the final strategy in the implementation of TigerPath is just to launch a school-based manufacturing business. So this is one that we're still working on, and we're not where we want to be yet. This is still very much a work in progress, but we are making progress. The goal is to create an authentic manufacturing business that's based in the high school, that's making real products for real customers with real money and run by the students themselves. And part of our thought process is how better to learn business than to actually run a real business? Why not learn this hands-on? Why not do it real world? And so that's where we want to go with it. So the idea of the behind the student-run company is that's going to add relevance to coursework. It's going to provide a realistic work experience for students. It's going to help build teamwork and soft skills for the students, help them learn critical thinking. It's going to teach entrepreneurship because they're going to be building a real business. It's going to teach them business operations, and it's going to help create revenue that we'll be able to use to help keep the Center for Technical Excellence up to date. So we never want to get behind technology-wise. We always want that to be state-of-the-art. And as we develop our school-based manufacturing business, that's going to help us accomplish that. So the model, you know, we learned this from another school district over in Wisconsin. There's a place called Eleva-Strum, Wisconsin School District, and the school is literally in a cornfield. And it's between two small communities, town of Eleva and the town of Strum, and neither one of them is more than 1,000 in population. So, I mean, these are small towns, and they share this high school right in the middle of the two towns. But they've been able to build this thing at the high school called Cardinal Manufacturing, which is a student-run manufacturing business, and they've been going at it now for, gosh, 10, 12 years, I would say, and they have built this up to an amazing level that nowadays they probably make more than $100,000 a year based on what the students are doing there at Eleva-Strum High School. And that's the model that we want to replicate. So we have implemented Tiger Manufacturing. And so we do have some measure of this at Hutchinson High School. And you know, the students are building tiny homes. That's one thing they do. They do garden sheds, they do fish houses, they do lake maps, they do some subcontracting for another manufacturing company here in town where they're manufacturing parts. So there is some aspects of Tiger Manufacturing underway. It's not to the level of what we want it to be, but we're going to keep working at it. We're going to get there. We've had some great results. We had, you know, the students themselves, they designed and built all the desks for the computer-aided drafting and design lab. And we had a couple students that went and put together all the computers. They built 20 computers. So I mean, we do have aspects of this underway. It's just we're still building it. That's what I would say. So all together now, there's these 6 different strategies for TigerPath. And the question comes, you know, hey, we're several years down the road on this now. Is it working? Are we doing it? And I would say without a doubt, without hesitation, absolutely it's working. We are delivering better outcomes for our students. You know, we are creating workforce. There are students, there are companies here in town where their main talent recruitment strategy is TigerPath. That's how they get their new staff. And a number of people on the shop floor at a bunch of companies here in town, they're students, they're young people that came straight out of TigerPath. So it's totally working. And we are delivering good outcomes for students. One of the real highlights, I think, is our Certified Nurse Assistant program. And we have young people now that can get what's called their CNA certificate or CNA certification just from what they're doing in high school. And so this program's been running for 6 years. This is the 7th year. So far, there's been 139 students that have gone through it. And up through last year, we've had almost 70 young people get certified as a CNA. And this is a great first step as they're thinking about launching into a medical career, whatever it is. And there's a bunch of registered nurses out there today that came straight out of the TigerPath CNA program. So is TigerPath working? It's absolutely working. And we get calls on a very regular basis from other communities, other schools that want to come and visit us and learn how we're doing it. And we're happy to share. And I've been out to give presentations to other communities, I would say dozens of times. So it's working, it's getting some real recognition, and I would say the best, quite frankly, is yet to come. We've got some cool things in the pipeline that are really going to take this to the next level. So much to look forward to. So that's it for this edition of Hutchinson Economic Developments. Next time I will have more updates on different projects. I'll have an update on the Jorgensen Hotel, and I hope it's a positive one. And then we're going to take a deep dive. We'll look at our small business incubator here in Hutchinson, the Hutchinson Enterprise Center. So I will see you next time.